I don't know what's going on, guys. I guess I'm back live, but I don't know if it's his phone or if it's you. I think it's the YouTube platform. I think they're switching so much around that they are they don't know what they're doing. They should have left it alone. YouTube was better in your early days. It's horrible now. But I'm still gonna continue live because I know there's some of you that you don't want to see this, and I got some information. And I still might record it on my camera. I'm starting to going back to recording stuff on my camera, um, so I could continue to archive all my live shows in case they kick me off the platform for whatever reason. Um, but I am going to another platform. I'm not sticking around. Anyways, so the Ibanez 12 string. It's we got this. I want to say we got this maybe 2014. The video I have on my other YouTube channel, Dave Byron, was recorded at the Naperville settlement back in 2015, and I'm playing a little short piece I call 12 strings. But the guitar itself, you can see it's got this curly maple blonde finish. The sides and the back of this finish. I'm not gonna move the phone because I got too many problems with that thing. But maybe I can. Here, maybe I can because now it's supposed to be horizontal, but it's vertical. Go figure, right? Let me go ahead and unplug that. And let me do this. So, yeah, we got our abalone rosette. This is the only inlay that's on the fingerboard. It is a bound rosewood fingerboard. The headstock is matching, and the Ibanez logo is also in a abalone. So I'm going to bring this back so I want you guys to see the process that I'm using. Um, and I'm going to also talk about some of the gigs we got coming up. So I had ordered two more packs, but I forgot I had a pack of these D'Addario EJ38s, 12 strings. They are a 10 to 47 gauge. I do use a lighter gauge on my 12 string. I don't really play it a whole lot, but I do use. Oh, one more thing with this guitar. The electronics is your standard volume, high, mid, and low, and you got a feedback eliminator. You got the tuner, a phase reverse, but it's got a built-in chorus. I've used it a couple of times, and it's not your standard chorus. It's kind of unique, even though you got 12 strings to get that chorusy effect. So I don't know why they want to, other than to give it more of a unique blend. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the process of unwinding these. And I got my camera, my phone, facing the other way, so I can't see the screen. I think we're going to be getting new phones in June because mine is just getting too old. And again, if I'm wrong about what's going on with YouTube, hey, I apologize, but I don't know. There's too many changes with them. And Deb she sets my live shows, my live gigs. I'm not setting those up. She is, and I appreciate that. And it could be a situation where YouTube is just so overwhelmed. I want to be fair about it before I, you know, get all bent out of shape, which doesn't really matter to me because I'm not desperate for that anymore. Well, I never really was desperate. It was just fun while it lasted, But when you're out here gigging, you already got social media, right? It's nice to share with people so they could see this part of life. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the strings off of the tuners, and then I'll pull these pins. The reason I pull the pins just with a needle nose. If let me know, guys, if this thing is sideways, because I really cannot tell. I'm just really not happy with how. Look at it. See, it's going all crazy. Look, I can't even. Okay. Uh, yeah, I'm following on. Yeah, you know what? I thank you so much, and I have to. I know I got the account there, and I have to get more. I'm trying to download on my laptop, but I know my phone camera is filled up. Look, it's all blurry. See, this is what I mean. It's kind of the memory's all used up. So when I get the new phone, I should be able to record videos and pop them directly to Rumble. Rumble's been good to me. You know, they're not. I'm gonna try to do this, guys. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, look at that. It wants to lock, and I know I've typed in or I called it to be horizontal. But Rumble doesn't seem to be biased or anything, and that's what I like about that. And that's what you want. You don't want a gatekeeper choking you. You're choking your growth. Anyways, enough about that. Because one of the topics I want to talk about is we picked up another gig for Saturday, so I got 2 gigs Saturday, and let's see, and to talk about a little bit of the state of some of these gigs. The club owners I've been talking to, club owners / managers, they're kind of holding off booking for the summer. Not just because we're hitting our off season down here, but in part, a lot of these club owners are kind of reluctant on throwing money at the bands and musicians because they're waiting to see what this hurricane season is going to bring. Now I know this. Look at this thing's pulsating. I'm not even touching it. So yeah, guys, this is, I to me this whole technology should have never been released because it's not ready. It's not finalized yet. It's like you build a car and you forget to put the wheels on, but you can sell the car without the wheels. I mean, well, wait a minute. Let's be realistic. And again, they do what they want. It's their platform. So I don't get myself all tied in with that. Anyways, some of these club owners are waiting to see because of my friend Ray. He wants to do a duo with me, and he's good. He'd be real good for it. But now when I talk with these people, they're waiting it out to see what's going to be happening because part of what they're going through is recouping from Hurricane Ian and Milton. Milton was this last year. Ian was 2022. And that did a lot of damage down here, guys. That did a lot of damage. And what people need to understand is the insurance companies. And when you got a restaurant, you got regulations. You don't just go to Home Depot, fix something, and then bingo, bammo, open up, man. Anytime you got a public shop, restaurant, whatever it is, anything open to the public, man, you got city inspectors that got to go in there. And especially a restaurant, you got city and health inspectors, food inspectors. So it's not as easy as people think it is. So that's why I understand what these restaurant owners are going through. Now, one lady, she was recovering from both hurricanes and lost about $100,000. The refrigeration system got destroyed. That's just $100,000 just for that, and then let alone the food that got spoiled and the beer that got everything. Everything's got to get thrown out. And then you say, well, there's insurance. Yeah, but the insurance companies were bailing out. So what a domino effect, man. What a domino effect. Now, it's not just that. There's another phenomenon that's happening. And this one is quite interesting. It's the age demographics. Now, down here in Southwest Florida, we have a lot of retired people. A lot. But we also, a lot of us are what they call transplants. But you also have the native Floridians that their kids are getting older and they're starting to work. And it's not just the native Floridians. It's also the people that relocated down here with their kids. And now they're starting to work in the restaurants and they're moving up the level there. When they first got their jobs, they were like servers and waiters, and they went to some of the cooks. But like the wait staff and the bartender, they usually move up to management position. And this is going to be very interesting, guys. With the management position, sometimes they will also be part of the entertainment booking. That's just a lot how it is. Now let me go ahead and pull these, like pulling teeth, Hope I don't lose one of these. I'll pop them in there. So what's going on here on the 12 string, at least the way this one is, the octave higher sits in the pins above, where your regular strings will sit on the lower pins. Or I guess you could do it anyway, but that's why I'm gonna do it. Well, this one's in there. That one is in there, guys. Ooh. Yeah, see, I don't want to fling it, and then the peg goes flying. So I'm going to wipe the guitar down. Let's see how we're doing here with our live stream. I guess it won't be too bad, because you can still see the guitar. Still see what I'm doing. It's more of the message I gotta give than it is just the video. Or the visual of it. So now getting back to the topic of, you have a younger crowd, a younger team moving up the ranks. And if you think about it, whether they relocated down here or they were, they're native Floridians, doesn't matter. We got down here 8 years ago. And let's say we get down here 8 years ago, and you got kids that are just starting middle school. That means 5th grade. Well, 8 years passed. They graduated high school. And usually, while these kids are in high school, they get jobs. I mean, we had jobs when we were in high school. The thing with down here, there's so many restaurants that if they don't have whatever skills they're learning in school, because a lot of these schools now have some really cool programs. But anyways, they'll get into the hospitality sector. In those hotels with restaurants, they'll go there, or they'll work at the restaurants, get some extra money, find out that they like it, they stay at the restaurant, and now they become managers as they get older. So figure this, if, let's say 7 years ago, that 5th grader is already graduated now, and if they're going to college, their first year or maybe second year of college and working, and maybe they started their job at the restaurant when they were 16 or 17 years old. Well, guess what? Now they're in their 20s. And if they liked it, they probably moved up in the ranks, and now they're in charge of booking the entertainment. And what I've noticed by talking with some of these people, the classic rock thing is still going. It's still going strong. But there is weakness. It is weakening. And it's being replaced by EDM, electronic dance music. So it's being replaced by electronic dance music. So what I've noticed, places that used to have music down here 5 to 6 days a week, they're down to 2 and 3 days a week. Usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or they might do a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with maybe Wednesday karaoke. That's starting to take over. So we're starting to become a little bit on the irrelevant side. Not 100%, but I see what's happening. Now, what's been helping us is that, I guess it's the kind of music I've been playing. Some of these college-age kids, they relate to it as chill music, chill out music, Because I've had several times while I'm playing, and even after I'm done playing, or in between songs, these college age kids come up to me and say, "You don't sound old." And as I'm playing, I'm watching them. They're moving and grooving, and it's not just to the style of music. It's not that if I'm playing a cover, it's really the style of music I'm playing, because they'll even move and groove to my originals. They have no idea it's my originals until I tell them, "Oh, that sounds nice. I didn't know you could make the guitar sound like that. I thought you just strum and sing it, because that's all we see down here, strumming and singing." What's starting to happen is that these kids are identifying us older folks as dad rock. If you play in a cover band and you're playing AC/DC, no matter how cool the stuff is, it's considered dad rock. And if you're doing anything that's even older than that, yeah, that's stuff that my grandpa listens to. Now we went from dad rock to grandpa rock. And they'll say, "Oh, that's cute. That's nice." Some of the younger girls, they say, "Oh, look at the older couple. That's kind of cute." And some of them, they'll say, "Man, that's kind of embarrassing. They think they're young and they're not, and whatever." But the point is that this new generation, they're the ones that started to take over the bookings. If you're not relevant, sorry about that, guys, you could stand a chance of getting left behind and not getting booked. Because as soon as you say, and I said this, what kind of, to one of the ladies when I was on the phone, she said, "Oh, what kind of music?" I said, because I'm in relation to what Ray and I are going to be doing. It's kind of classic rock, but not nothing. I said nothing too harsh. I know you're a restaurant, so Ray's got to do some maybe a couple Beatles songs, some Neil Young and that. The response from this girl was, "Yeah, that sounds old and dated." And then she starts naming names. The only name I recognized was Billie Eilish. I thought she said Billie English. I guess it's Billie Eilish. Not Billy Idol, but Billie Eilish. And what's happening is the other names I didn't recognize. So what is starting to happen, that's why I could tell this girl was young, is that we're starting to get replaced, and it's not a matter of if it happens, it's when it happens and how do you handle it. Now, we are still going to, there's still a lot of us that go out in the midday, which I do like the midday gigs. And there's still going to be the restaurant owner to say, "Well, wait a minute, we still have our older crowd that comes in, so we also want to cater to them." But I'm just going to say it, my friends, because it's a reality. Little by little, we're starting to die off. And some of us are moving away. Not us, but some of the older folks, my age and older, they're leaving because they cannot handle another hurricane. Not this past Monday at Jungle Bird, but the Monday before. I'm doing a sound check. It was an older crowd getting ready to leave. Well, actually, they were leaving. And I said, they said, "Oh, man," they saw me. And, "Oh, Dave, I wish we could stick around, but we got to go." I said, "Not a problem, my friends. Not a problem at all. Yeah, I'm here till the end of April. I do this in season. I play the first Monday in January. I have every Monday from the first Monday in January to the last Monday in April, and then we're out of season." So I said, "You guys should come back." The lady says, "Yeah, well, we're going up to Colorado." I said, "Oh, well, that's okay. Well, I'll be back next season." And she says, "No, we're moving to Colorado. We just put our house up for sale because we can't handle another hit with the hurricane." I can't blame her. And then she said, "Yeah, our neighbors down the street, they're doing the same thing. I don't know if they're going to Colorado or not." I said, "Yeah, Colorado's beautiful, man, especially like in the fall. Ooh, is it beautiful there." So what we're starting to witness here is a little bit of a renaissance of the older generation leaving because, think about it. You're retired and your house got hit, no matter what kind of damage it is, it's still a lot of money, especially the roof. Especially if you have slate tile on your house. Because down here, I think if you lose even a quarter of your slate tile on the roof, not even half, just a quarter, you got to replace the entire roof. And slate tile is very expensive. So you go through all that with your insurance, and some of the insurance companies were bailing out down here, and people were pulling money out of their savings. And when you're retired and you're on a fixed income, and you just, even if you have the money, you have plans. The last thing you want to do is spend that money on repairs. You'll do it the first time, but second time you'll be thinking twice around sticking around for the third time for it to happen. Because after hurricane number 2 hits, then it's like, okay, we got to rethink this, because now we're not 65, we're 67 and 68. And we just got done, we're still paying off from Hurricane Ian, and now we got to dig deep in our pockets and come up with some money for the last hurricane that just hit. So that's kind of what's going on. And I'm like, yep, I could see that. So the older generation's not going to stick around for it. The newer generation, I mean, they were still freaked out about it, but, when you're young, you're strong. You can handle it. You got time on your side. You can rebuild. As you get older, it's not that easy. And that is what we're starting to see. So I'm making the preparations for whatever storm weather comes our way, to be prepared for whatever I need to be prepared for. Whether it's, hopefully we don't get any damage with this hurricane, but let's say there's a massive slowdown with the music. I gotta be prepared for it. Now, on the other hand, if we don't get that slowdown, but we get a change, again, it doesn't mean that these people are not getting ready to bail, because they can't withstand any more damage. A younger generation coming down. Hurricane Ian is what? This September will be 3 years ago it hit. It's not even 3 years. And when they rebuilt downtown Fort Myers, and that took a while, so I want to say just within 2 years, maybe less, we've seen a drastic change in the age demographics downtown Fort Myers. Drastic. 2 of the places that I know for a fact that they used to have live music, now the one place, if they have live music, maybe it's at a time I'm not down there, but when we're down there, they got a DJ. The other place that used to have live music, they don't have anything that I've noticed. When they used to. And they got mostly flat screen TVs. Where the stage used to be, they filled it with some tables and some booths. And because they leave the door open, right down, I mean, literally a block, not even, it's a half a block. They got the firehouse and then the social house playing their DJ music. And then half a block the other way, they got Bay Street pub. They got DJ playing that music, and all that music, that sound carries. And that club owner of the place called City Tavern, they don't need to have anything, because they leave the door open, and they have a line of people out there to get into that restaurant. And all it is a restaurant. So it's very, very interesting what's taking place. Now, like I had said, I'm very blessed, very fortunate that I guess I'm relative, not to everybody, you know, but I'll have some of the older folks, man, really like my stuff because it's jazz oriented. And I got the younger college kids that are interested because they could move and groove to it, and that's what I'm noticing, and it's like, wow, I knew it was gonna happen. You're prepared for it, but you start to see it. You start seeing when you start seeing kids graduate high school, and as they get older, even if it could be just your neighbors, their kids, watch as they get older. And if you're a musician and if you want to, go out and play, and these kids start working at these places, and then they start having say so, and if you're going to try to sell something from the '60s, you might be able to get some gigs there because that restaurant and pub, mostly restaurant, will still have an older crowd. But as the older crowd starts to move away and die off, they're getting replaced by the younger crowd. And that is the reality. And I know it's not a pleasant reality, but it is a reality. And again, I'm only saying this because I've noticed this. What's been helping me is the style of music that I've been playing. These young kids, they can relate to it. And I'm very happy for that. But if I was just only doing a bunch of covers that are of my generation and only that, I might have a limited lifetime, or limited life at these places, because eventually they're going to want something different, something that's of their generation. Matter of fact, when we were downtown doing the music walk, one of the guys that was setting up, he was running a little bit late, and the promoters down there, they're real good people. They understand if you're coming down 75, there's an accident. They're real good. Well, he showed up, and then we actually went to a spot that we were originally designated to, and then we got talking. He was a real nice guy, and we're talking about what we're going to be playing. I said, "Yeah, have a great show. Yeah, you too, man. What kind of stuff you do?" And I told him what I do. He's like, "Wow, that's pretty interesting." I said, "What do you?" He's the same old BS covers, but we're trying to do some new stuff like Bruno Mars and this, that, and the other. Some of these young kids don't even know who Bruno Mars is. Now, I've never really followed him, but he was relevant not too long ago. But now this newer generation, they don't even know. Hey, what's happening? Let's see. Oh, see now, guys, the way my phone is set, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, from the opposite side. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. But anyways, my point is they're not recognizing even some of the stuff that was just. See, the thing is with social media, everything is moving at a very fast pace. Look at this. It's blurry, guys. I'm so sorry about this. I got no control over this. Oh, this is horrible. This is horrible. But anyways, yeah. See, look at how blurry that is, man. Wow. Look at that. Wow. I apologize about this, guys. I have not. I wish I had like a focus button. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing on this thing. That's. I guess this is what frustrates me. There's little to no instructions and nothing works. It's like so useless. It's not even funny. Well, at least it'll be good audio, right? Unless they botch that one up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put the strings in, and then I'm gonna put them around. Well, actually, I'm putting them through the posts up here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get them all set so that when I need to get it all tuned up and trim the headstock so I don't have all these pole pieces hanging all over the place. Okay, now this is getting very confusing. Okay. I love the Diodarios, but I don't like the confusion. Okay, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. Okay, it's my fifth string. Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, my suggestion for this dilemma as we get older is really, number one, you gotta like what you're doing. Otherwise, you're not gonna sound authentic. And people could tell when you're faking it. It's not entertaining. It's not unique. It doesn't draw them in. Is if you have other styles of music that you do like, or if you have some of a newer generation that you kind of like, don't be afraid to incorporate that in your gig, because it could help you. It could help you get keep you on the relevant side. Say, hey man, this guy's all right, or this girl, she's all right. Let's keep her. She got some life in her, and she's playing stuff that we like as well. And never be afraid of doing your own music. I think that's. I can only speak on my behalf, though. But I think it really, some of these people, these guys and gals, they cut themselves so short. They got really good music, and they don't see it, and they think or maybe they're afraid that no one's gonna like it. You cannot be afraid, man. Okay, I think what I'm gonna have to do, guys, this is gonna get turned into a cluster here. So we'll go ahead and start winding these up. But yeah, let me go ahead and get this here. But yeah, you cannot be afraid to try something different. If you like it, if you feel it's not for you, then okay, at least you tried it. But it is real interesting what is starting to take shape. And this could be everywhere. So it doesn't matter where you're at. People are going to age, a new generation's going to come in, and they're going to bring in what they like. You see it with a lot of the electronic, what they call EDM, electronic dance music. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, some of it is pretty cool. They're being very creative. We have a friend, he goes by the name of DJ Cosmos, and yeah, he's actually good. He'll do like a lot of the Latin rhythms, mix it all together, and it's so easy to put guitar parts to it, man. Like, that's just it, man. I think what happens with us guitar players, especially if we've only done rock or metal and never really exposed ourselves to other styles of music, it's hard to break away from that. And it doesn't mean that you have to quit doing metal or anything, no. Or maybe come up with something that's going to work and click. You see, the thing is with trends, you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. That's just it. And it's so hard to predict. Okay, I can go ahead and do this. So I don't even try to predict anything. I just try to do whatever is natural. Now, here's something to think about. The good news with you making a click with a younger generation, once you make that click with them, then you might have them for life as fans. They're not. They may not like everything that you do, but neither do we like everything that our peers have done either, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is if they like what you're doing, then they'll grow with you, or you'll grow with them, I should say. And if you're in like my age, early 60s, and you got these kids in their 20s, and if I keep floating the boat, 20 years from now I'll be 81. Might not be able to move as agile as I move now, but as I turn 80, those 20-something year olds are going to be in their 40s. They'll grow with you. That's the good news. It's not always easy, my friends. I get it. But relevancy, you got to think about. That's if you want to go out and play. If not, don't even worry about it. It's no different than our generation when we were coming up. Think about it. Those of us in our 60s had grandparents, had grandparents that were in their youth. It was the big band jazz. So what's happened with the big band jazz era is now happening with the rock era. Where we aged. It doesn't mean we all went away. It just means we aged. Okay, guys. I got this thing going here. I'll probably let these strings settle overnight. And I'll stretch them. But it's 12-string guitar is hard to. It's a little bit of a challenge, this tune, because you got 12 keys. I don't know if this happens to any of you out there, but as we get older, our sight can't see the tuning peg, the peg hole, because the light is bouncing off of the chrome, and it's bouncing off of the chrome, the inner wall of the chrome. Okay, what just happened? Oh, I see. Now, my friend and student, Doug, he's the guy that's got the harp guitar. Now, you're not going to go to a dance party with a harp guitar unless you play dance music on it. So there is going to be different genres and different folks for those different styles of music that is going to interest them. So none of it's going to go entirely away, I don't think, unless they pull a plug on it. But you will have these areas where it is going to appear that the interest is not there anymore. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and snip some of these, and it's just part of life. It's gonna happen. You may watch videos of concerts that now that you notice the crowd has kind of diminished. And I'm talking about, you know, people that used to be able to draw big crowds. Unless they're playing a festival, that big crowd is not there like it used to be. Things have changed. Interests have changed. Okay. Now getting back to my friend with the harp guitar. His music is very soothing. And the niche right there are the rehabilitation centers, the VFWs, veterans hospitals. And I'm real happy for him because he's getting work. He's got something unique. See, that's... Okay, I got this guy to put through here. I wish I could move that camera over here, but I'm afraid if I move my phone, you know, everything's going to go all haywire. I don't understand why, but... Just like that there. Let that sit there. What's going on here? It could be. G string. The 12 string does have a unique sound, that is for sure. The harp guitar really has a unique sound. It's like, wow. Okay, as I could tell. Are my B strings, even though you got two purples. Ballins. That's what Diodario will do. Ah, here's interesting. Well, maybe it won't matter. I think they're basically the same gauge. Yep. One might be a little bit, yeah, thinner than the other. So, but yeah, that's what's going on. We are still getting our gigs. We got two with Miramar Outlets. One's at University Villages. See, now that we're going off season, at least for the month of May, yeah, we're gonna be having two, which is nice. And then I'll go out, you know, hunting again, head hunting. You know, plus we got two gigs up in Orlando, which is a corporate event. Which this company always, the last couple of years they've been hiring me, which we're very appreciative of. They like what I do. That helps. And the cat's out there meowing. He wants to get in. He wants to get in so he can play with the strings. You know how cats are. Okay. Something wrong, guys. I did something wrong. That's okay. But yeah, this guitar does have a nice sound. So, like I said, it's a little bit, the body is thick. So it does take a little while to get used to the fatness of it. But other than that, man, it just really has a good sound. And for certain things, certain creative things, yeah. It's interesting, if you ever listen to Baroque music, when they play on the lute, the strings are double. They call them, they're in corsets. They're double. That's what that means. They're doubled. So I hope this is not boring people. I know it could be. Look at this. It's still like, look at this. Look at that. See, I hate to do that, guys, but yeah. Once I could find out how I could get my laptop loaded up to Rumble, then I'm going to go ahead and do that one. And just, again, seek out what else is out there. It's only a matter of time before YouTube is going to have competition, That's life. Okay, you got it. There it is. There it is. I guess this would be the only thing that locking tuners would be good for. I got a couple of guitars that have locking tuners. The Gibson and the Camelot. But they don't help the guitar stay in tune. They help the strings stay in place when you're changing strings. But you got to be careful with that too, because sometimes the little mechanism in there, if it's too sharp and you tighten it too much, it snaps the string right at the peg head, right where the tuner is. And it just snaps it right off. One more. There we go. Got the guy in there. One thing that is nice with this 12 string, the action is great on it, man. And when we bought this, we bought it used, and it was mint condition. Absolute mint condition. Actually, I like it. When I played it, Deb says, wow, it sounds good. And it's kind of like more of Deb's idea than it was my idea to get the 12 string. And so we got it. And it is a beautiful looking guitar. Guys, I do apologize about this blurriness. This is really... Okay, I'm going to start trimming some of these over here. And then I got to take these strings, put out in the recyclable bin. I don't leave them in the house. Without letting that, I'll hear one of the cats, And I don't want that in. I don't want them to get stuck in their throats. I don't want that to happen to them. Poor little guys. Okay. Gotta make sure. Okay. Sounds horrible. Because it's got to be tuned. Now, interesting, if I want to tune my bass strings or even just my low E and A string, the two strings in fits. So when I'm playing it, it's already playing a chord. Just these two, and then the other four I could leave. You know, sometimes I think about getting creative with some of the tunings with a 12 string. I never really experimented with it. Be worth a shot. And then if I like it, hey, it's a keeper. If I don't like it, you know, then I don't keep it. It's that simple. But there you go, my friends. And make sure that these will stay in here. And I'll tune it up, stretch them out a little bit, and tune them up again and let them settle. And then tomorrow, see what we get, you know, how it's holding its tuning. I might use it at a couple of the gigs this weekend. And then Monday is our final gig at Jungle Bird for the season because it's the last Monday in April. And like I said earlier, our in-season with Jungle Bird, with our residency gig there, is the first Monday in January all the way through the last Monday in April. So I'm there every single Monday, weather permitting, and that means if it rains. If it rains, then you know they just go ahead and cancel them, and that's fine. But yeah, let's see. Last weekend was really good weekend, both gig wise and money wise. I was pleasantly surprised, and it turns out this weekend is gonna be another financial winner. You know, the thing is with with the music is it could be fluctuating income, and this is something that I'm you know make the suggestion to if you've never experienced doing it full time and you're young enough to do it, go ahead and do it because it is great because we've been there, we've done that, and it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. But just keep in mind, watch what you spend because you never know when if let's say if you're playing the restaurants and that when owners change hands and new owners come in, if they bring in their ideas and if they want to eliminate some of the music, they could do it, and then there goes your gig, and your gig could go from being gigging all the time to all of a sudden you don't have that gig there anymore, or from gigging all the time to now sparingly gigging there. So it means you lose money. You're always selling yourself, always. And for some people, if they're not careful, it's very easy to hit that financial panic button. It really is. And then what happens is that when you sell yourself to new places and you start noticing your funds are running out, you could sound desperate. And these people don't want to deal with people who sound desperate because they got their own set of problems. And the last thing they need is anyone else sounding desperate and pushy. And you get to those levels, they ain't gonna want to deal with you. You know, it's that simple. So keep things in mind, having multiple streams of income, and life is much easier. You don't have that stress. Some people work real well under stress, but for how long? You know, it gets to us. We're only human. Anyways, my friends, that is that with the 12 string. It's a beautiful guitar. Again, if you want to hear this in action, you're not going to hear it tonight because I got to tune her up now. Go to my other YouTube channel, Dave Byron, just not Rockin Dave Byron, but Dave Byron, and type in 12 strings, and the video will pop up, and you'll hear this thing at a church in Naperville. And it sounded absolutely beautiful. I think what I did on that particular song, I did a drop D on my low E string on both of them, and then of course the other 5 strings were in standard tuning, and it just really sounds nice. So, but anyways, my friends, I hope this has been helpful, and I apologize about the blur on the phone and that, and we'll keep you guys posted. But again, Saturday, we don't know if we're gonna stream the first gig live, but definitely the gig at University Villages. I think that's 6 to 9. We're gonna definitely stream that live, and if this is holding its tuning and got no problems with it, I might bring this, do a couple of numbers on this, as well. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys, tuning in and all your support, and hope everything has been helpful. And hope you guys have a great evening. Until next time, you stay strong, safe, and true. Rock on, and God bless, my friends. Have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in.